This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's Wednesday, so we're doing another lick-based video, and this week's offering is basically a little trick that I use all the time when I'm playing blues. It's a great way of really enhancing your blues soloing and just making it sound that little bit more authentic, shall we say. It's really easy to do, and it sounds really good. There are no new scale patterns or anything like that to learn, and it's a very adaptable lick that you can put into many different situations. So I'll tell you what, here's a little bit of a solo where I'm doing this. When I listened back to this solo, I did think, oh, I think I've overdone it a little bit on, kind of including this type of lick, possibly too many times. But that should make it relatively easy for you to spot what's going on. Here it is. And now here's a bit of an explanation about what is going on in that lick, if you managed to spot what I was doing there. Maybe you already know what's going on, but here's an explanation, just in case you didn't.
Lick explanation. Okay,
the basis of this lick is that you're using notes from the underlying chords, which is a concept we've looked at many, many times. Now the chords in a typical sort of 12-bar blues in the key of A would be A7, D7 and E7. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of notes from the A7 chord. These two notes here. It's a G note and a C sharp. If you want the techie sort of geeky sort of stuff, then what we've got is the major third and the flattened seventh of that A7th chord. So we can include those notes in a lick that will sound really good over A7. Fair enough. We'll have a look at some examples in a moment. So what happens if I move this pair of notes around then? Well, if I move them down a fret, you would think, well, okay, that's A7. Go down one fret from A, you get G sharp. So that's going to be G sharp 7th. Well, yes, it is, but it's also D7, because if I play this voicing for the D7 chord, we've got the same two notes, or basically that shape rather, a fret lower. So there's A7, I'll play it with these fingers, and then move it down a fret. Those same two notes are in that D7 chord there. So A7, move it down a fret, becomes D7. So you go from your 1 chord to your 4 chord, like that. And if that's D7, we'll move it up 2 frets, and there's your E7 chord, your 5 chord, and that's going to have the same shape in it there. So A7, D7, back to A7, E7. So you can start creating like just run-of-the-mill pentatonic licks and including that shape in them to denote whatever chord you're playing over. So here's a fairly typical pentatonic blues lick. There we go. So now let's bring that A7 pair of notes in it. Great little bluesy lick for the A7 chord. Then all you got to do is move that down 1 fret and you can play the same lick, but now it becomes a D7 lick. Or maybe move it up a fret and it becomes an E7 lick. Like that. Now the relationship between those two notes in this shape, it's what we call a tritone, okay? And a tritone is just basically a fancy way of saying 6 frets. Those of us who grew up at tuning the guitar the old-fashioned way, going to the 5th fret on each string to get the note for the next string, will know that this note here is the same note as this open string. So if I'm doing that to that, you can see that it's the same as doing that, okay? But obviously I can't play both of those notes simultaneously because they're on the same string, so that's why we're putting this note on this string. So if these two notes are 6 frets apart, then a curious thing happens when you move it, okay? If I was to move this shape 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frets up, I've got the same two notes, they've just inverted. Down here it's G and C sharp. If I move the G up 6 frets, it becomes a C sharp, and if I move the C sharp up 6 frets, it becomes a G. So I've got exactly the same bunch of shapes up here. So I can do A7, D7, back to A7 and E7 again. So I could play, that puts me in the sort of locality of the pattern 3 of the A minor pentatonic, you know, this one. So I can start playing pattern 3 minor pentatonic licks here and including those shapes to denote the chords, maybe. That sort of thing. All those kind of little licks, just including that pair of what we call tritone notes, the blues tritone. So once again, at the 5th fret, it's A7. Move it down a fret, it becomes D7. And move it up a fret, it becomes E7. And all of that is duplicated 6 frets higher. So 5th fret, go to the 11th fret, you get A7. Down at the 10th, it's D7, and up at the 12th it's E7. And you can start finding these relationships elsewhere. So for instance, if I was to take this G note here and move it up an octave to here, I've got the same kind of pair of notes here, but just a different voicing for it. A7, D7, back to A7 and E7. So some licks. Like that, there's an A7 lick. D7 lick. E7 lick. And all of that also repeats 6 frets higher. So, you know, there's the A7 here. There it is there. And there's a couple of places in the solo where I did exactly that, just kind of going like that, just to create a little bit of movement up and down the fretboard, and just a sense of going somewhere with it. So there you go, lovely little blues lick idea, very, very easy to incorporate into your regular pentatonic shapes and fingerings and stuff. So now you know what's going on, go away and have some fun with it. And as always, there is a full tab for that little bit of a solo in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with the clip of me playing it and that explanation you've just seen there, and a jam track for you to play along with for yourself to get this little tritone idea under your fingers and get it kind of practiced and nice and slick. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional resources that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive heartfelt thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down in the description. Thank you so much, everyone. Much appreciated. And that is pretty much the video for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and found something useful there to take away from it. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like while you're at it? As always, I'll just mention the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.